Merchandise Financial Planning, or MFP, is a standalone demo model in Anaplan that is typically used for retail and CPG products in conjunction with a supply model. It involves merchandise financial planning, assortment planning, and allocation or replenishment planning for a given calendar. This is commonly by season, but could equally be by any other time horizon, since it is essentially pre-planning and then ongoing management. It maps high-level financial targets around sales, inventory, and margin to derive a replenishment plan, so fits naturally with retail customers like the clothing company in this demo, but we also have CPG customers who utilize Anaplan's connected planning to combine this functionality for a particular brand or category with a more traditional demand planning approach. This landing page shows the flow of the whole model, but individual functions and processes can be implemented. So for example, the long-range plan could be useful for any organization, or a company might just require the assortment planning or open to buy and WYSI functions. Starting with seeding of the long-range plan at the divisional level. This model contains its own statistical forecasting engine that generates an automated baseline forecast at every level of the product hierarchy, from the top aggregation of demand down to the channel location levels. Stat forecasts are covered in detail within our demand planning videos, but used here the company can combine and blend that baseline with any other forecasts to model the business plan. This simple grid allows factoring of the forecast types across the periods. So for example, the statistical forecast might be used in the short term where it is most accurate, and the financial sales target might be used going forward. Following seeding of the top-level plan, we can then consider new products, customers, and categories. The link at the bottom of the dashboard takes us into New Product Introduction, which is detailed separately in our Product Lifecycle video and can be incorporated into an MFP model as well as traditional demand planning. The resulting weighted forecast is shown at the bottom of this grid. Throughout this model, approvals of the cycle are built in. User security determines the access levels of individuals in Anaplan, such that only authorized users might be able to edit this dashboard and then lock the seeded forecast. When planning long term, you will need your financial plan to consider the number of outlets operating. This dashboard enables consideration of the store openings and closures using simple functionality to quickly impact the plan. At the top here, we can simply add a new store, including key criteria and attributes. More could be configured as required. And below, if you know that stores will be permanently shuttered, then fixing the date will remove it from the plan at this point. Finally, even temporary closures can be considered. For example, when a store has a refit. The chart on the right shows a visual of the closure window impact upon sales. From here, the model goes through a top-down, bottom-up process utilizing similar functionality across the dashboards for increasingly granular refinement through the product hierarchy. Starting at division and channel, specific user roles are intended to confirm or override variables such as sales value, volume, gross margin, percentage, average unit cost, inventory levels, and receipts. Each stage incorporates Anaplan's scenario planning capability to enable users to create multiple versions of potential outcomes for comparison. Key metrics are visible to support discussion before locking in plans. Now taking those targets down a level to the department, here the senior buyer uses 3 dashboards to separately manage the sales planning, the inventory planning, and the margin planning. Sales planning with value and volume adjustments, Inventory planning, looking at variable inventory levels and unit cost. Margin planning, considering markdown units. Before reviewing and submitting the plan with commentary. For approval by the leadership team. Continuing with the process for consistency, the bottom-up planning is conducted in very much the same way as previously shown, but as seen here, incorporates key item planning. The model isn't planning down to SKU level, but an organisation might sell some particularly critical items that singularly have significant impact upon the business, which might benefit from specific focus within the plan. Users can review these key items, making granular adjustments and overrides prior to plan submission and approval. The final stage in this pre-planning process is to set granular targets by channel and location. Going from the regional level down to the individual stores, the user fine-tunes the sales and inventory unit targets, making adjustments to receipts and reviewing the weeks of supply. On this final dashboard showing store metrics, the planned sales from weeks 8 through to week 12 are blank as a result of the store closure for refurbishment that we built into the model earlier. This now completes the pre-planning process within this Anaplan demo model. So we move into the day-to-day planner activity within the weekly sales and stock intake dashboard, or WYSI as it's commonly known. Opening the dashboard, we are presented with a number of key metrics and a large grid of data containing every variable to be controlled by the planner. The filter on the left allows focus on line item groups, or the user could manually filter rows to view specific fields as required. Within the grey area are the historical actuals. These cannot be adjusted, but beyond, within the white columns, the user has the ability to adjust sales and non-committed receipts. Alerts within Anaplan are easily configured rule-based calculations. Here we have an alert threshold driver to highlight to the planner where sales and inventory measures require attention, but customers can easily specify and create their own alerts. Changes immediately impact upon the open to buy budget and inventory charts below. Combined again with scenario planning, the user can model multiple potential outcomes and compare for review and collaboration. If additional budget is required, we again use a role-based approvals process that provides transparency and workflow to the process. Finally, in support of the workflow, we complete the MFP process with a dashboard to create and contain within Anaplan other business intelligence which contributes to the management business review. This information and additional metrics can be added to the management report, which is a pre-prepared pack that benefits from dynamic text and values connected to live Anaplan data.